Hi guys. Hi. So I know I said that we'll be in a new location this week and we're starting a new series, I actually did record another video, but it was laid on my heart to do this one instead because God has been dealing with me for the last couple of days. As you guys know, I have episodes of depression from time to time, and I feel like the enemy has been trying to make me go back into one. So I've been really fighting this week to not go back into a place of depression, especially when I just had a very, very happy moment in my life. So the only thing I could do was turn to God. And I don't know why I'm getting emotional right now, but I just got to get it out, and I said I'm going to be honest and vulnerable with you guys. So the video that I actually recorded that was supposed to be for this week, I'm going to leave it for next week, and I'm going to record and talk to you guys this week about something totally different that God laid on my heart yesterday while I was in meditation. And it's going to tie in. It's actually supposed to be a part 2 of the video that I recorded, but I feel like it's more necessary to put this one out first because it's what I'm feeling in the moment, so I'd rather go ahead and put this video out. So with that being said, the video we're starting a new series, and it's called Life Lessons. And originally today I was going to talk about abandonment and rejection, but instead I'm going to talk about surrendering pride and ego. So let's go ahead and get into it. Welcome to Breion's Diary, where we talk about life. We are healing, growing, building our confidence and self-esteem, but we're doing it through God. So, as I said, I was going to talk about abandonment and rejection, but there's 2 sides to everything. So I cannot always look at other people. I always have to look at self. I told you guys, Satan attacks my mind. I told you guys a couple weeks ago that I kind of got disconnected. And when I disconnect, I told you guys this before, Satan attacks me really bad. And we all know that he attacks emotions. And when I feel emotions, I feel them very strongly. They're very intense, to the point where sometimes I can't think straight and I lose sight of everything, and I can become very impulsive. That's me. I'm human, I'm flawed, and I'm just being honest. So I have to admit that it is a bad behavior and it's a bad habit of mine. So with that being said, I registered again for therapy to, help find better coping mechanisms when I'm having one of those episodes. My first instinct usually is to back away from people and go into solitude until I'm regulated, because I know how intense I can be, and I don't expect anyone to take on, those burdens. I don't expect anyone to try to handle those intense emotions that I have. So I was reading, and in Matthew 6:24 says, Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. So when I'm deep in emotions, I like to submerge myself in water. As I told you guys, I took a bath and I was meditating. And I do that because it's very calming for me. And while I was in the water, I was taking a look at myself. I can sometimes say that I feel abandoned and rejected, but when God convicts you, you have no choice but to look at yourself. So he showed me areas where I have been selfish. And I don't know why sometimes I cannot grasp the concept that other people are going through things. And what I mean by that is meaning like they're going through things, and sometimes I'm not the person that's able to help them. And I have to accept the fact that they need space. I have to accept the fact that some people are going through their own trials, tests, and struggles, and do not have the capacity to take on my emotions. And so it's a two-way thing. And I have to accept that when I get impulsive, I create scenarios in my head that are not there, and it causes me to self-sabotage to the point that I have to accept the consequences of my actions, and whatever that may be. So now, with that being said, a lot of that stems from pride and ego. I can be about me sometimes. I think about myself and I'm thinking about others, and that's very selfish in me, and God has shown me that about myself, and so I'm taking the time to really allow myself to feel those emotions, and I was acknowledging all of this to God. So sometimes when the enemy attacks, my pride and ego can put me in a victim mentality where I cannot see reality, and it puts me into illusions, and I beat myself up. Because I have good intentions. I don't mean to do some of the things that I do. It's really just me being impulsive. And I sometimes feel like I should have known better. So I was sometimes too prideful to see that, it's Satan that's attacking and my ego will validate the negative thoughts. So one thing God told me, though, was that the enemy will make me stumble, but he will never let me fall. So I acknowledge my wrongs and my moment of weakness. I repented and asked God for a more discerning spirit. I went to Jesus as, he's the Prince of Peace, and I've been asking him to help me make peace with my mistakes. So, sometimes all of them can come up in a moment, and sometimes, like I said, some things can hit me and they hit me hard. So I have been for the last couple of days surrendering my pride and ego to God, and this is where the growth mindset comes in. So I take this moment as a lesson instead of beating myself up. I allow myself to feel, but I use it to get back on my path to God, and strive each day to be better and do better than the day before. So it's teaching me to practice self-forgiveness and honestly learning to be more kind and compassionate with myself and give myself grace. And understanding that if someone walks away from me, all is well. If someone feels that I'm just not the person for them, all is well. So, so if I made a mistake out of flesh, ego, and pride, I keep my heart on God and all is well. So remember that God got you. Remember that even if you make mistakes, even if you're in ego, in pride, don't feel abandoned. People walk away from you. Don't feel rejected. Surrender your pride and ego to God and allow him to uproot those things in your heart and work on you so you can just be better. And know that it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world if you see those things about yourself, and if you lose people, it's okay. All is well. God will never leave you or forsake you. And we'll talk more about that next week. So I'm about to go take my walk in the park. I'm about to go spend some time with my father. And remember, healing isn't linear, it is a journey. So here at Breion's Diary, we are healing together. I love y'all so much, and I will see you next week.